Welcome back to your Thursday Sports Fix. A reminder, coming up later in the hour, we'll be chatting with Bronwyn Jonathan, PhD from the Australian Institute of Sport. A very interesting conversation that looking forward to sharing with you coming up on today's program. But right now, it's about time we get with the flow man into some local football and netball, and we'll look at some AFL coming up soon as well. But right now, he's discussing the YPFL.
The Yorke Peninsula Football League. The league has been going since 1996. It was established out of the old Yorke Valley Football League, which came together when the Southern Yorke Peninsula Football Association disbanded and the clubs went into the Yorke Valley, and then they changed the name for the 1996 season, which saw the Yorke Peninsula Football League, the best leg in football as we call it here on the Flow Friday Night Sports Show as we cover it. But this year it is a really important season after 2020 saw the league itself not play due to the COVID circumstances. One of the clubs, Butte, ventured across to the Adelaide Plains. They sought premiership glory for the first time since 1993. It wasn't to be for them last year. They got very close. That would have been their first premiership in 27 years. They seek the glory in this year's competition back in Yorke Peninsula football. Other clubs that are having a real wait for a premiership opportunity are Ardrossan. They last won in 2004. They've gone all out and recruited as their coach one of their former favourite sons who's come home, and that is none other than Big Sam Sauce Jacobs of AFL fame at the Giants, at the Crows and at Carlton. He'll be coming home, and in 17 years they haven't tasted success at the Blue and White Kangaroos down by the big silos. They will be hoping that that big silo of a man, Sauce Jacobs, can get them into a grand final and maybe a premiership this year. Last premiership, the Southern Eagles took it in 2019 over their arch rivals, the CMS Crows. It was on that occasion 12-5-77 to the Southerners, beating the Crows 7-7-49 on that day at the Wallaroo Oval. In the B-grade competition, Southern Eagles, Kadina in the senior Colts, and the junior Colts were the Central Yorke Cougars. As we go to this season, and it's a big start-up happening on the 10th of April, and we'll have your reports here right on the Sports Fix and on the Friday Night Sports Show. Butte back, and they take on Wallaroo at the Butte Oval. Can they get that elusive premiership, the Red and Whites? Wallaroo, they'll be hoping the Bulldogs to stop them. Kadina, the Bloodhounds, take on Ardrossan, the Kangaroos, at Kadina Oval, and Central Yorke, the Cougars, up against Pascaville, the Magpies. The Southern Eagles, they take on Moonta at Waruka, and the Crows have the bye in the first round, the boys from Caramalka, Stansbury and Millerton. We're looking forward to another terrific season of Yorke Peninsula footy, and we'll keep you covered on the Sports Fix.
Not just on the Sports Fix, but also on the Flow Sports Show, the Winter Sports Show, which will be coming up after Easter time. And Easter, only a couple of weeks away. It is right upon us. We continue our look at local football and netball, this time the Farrer Football and Netball Leagues.
They're about to get their competition going again for season 2021 after not playing in season 2020. And they're getting back to action on Saturday, April the 10th. And over the years, this league has maybe played second fiddle in some respects to the Riverina Football League, but it's got some terrific clubs and some great history to it too. And going back to 2019, a couple of the Wagga clubs were in the grand final. North Wagga took on East Wagga Karingal, and it was a big win for North Wagga, 13-8-87 to 10-7-67. But in the reserve grade, it was revenge for East Wagga Karingal. They were able to win that flag, while in the under-17 grade, there are the three grades, or the thirds. The Mara boys from out north of Wagga, between Junee and Coolaman, have gone back-to-back at 2018-19, and they'll be hoping to go three in a row in 2021. The clubs across the competition that are involved in Farrer, there are terrific famous clubs. You've got the Barellan United. They wear the double blue outfit. The Charles Sturt University, they're the red and whites. And then you've got Coleambally. They wear the Carlton Football Guernsey. In fact, exactly identical. The Coleambally Football Club. You can see the CFC, can't you, in the navy blue. East Wagga Coringal are the Hawks in the Hawthorn strip. Then Mara are the Bombers out of the Langtree Oval out at Mara, and they are looking forward to this season after winning a couple of flags actually back in 2017 and 18. North Wagga are the Saints. Then we have the Northern Jets, which is an amalgamation of the Ardlethan and Araya Park and Mirror clubs from yesteryear. They've come together to form the Northern Jets in the power colours, similar, if you like, to Port Adelaide's colours. Then Temora, they play in the Kangaroo colours, the vertical blue and white strip, and then the Rock Yarron Creek, the Magpies, and they play out of Victoria Park in the Rock. They last tasted premiership success in 2015, the black and white. They'll be hoping this year to be back in the game, and I guess they'll be hoping too to be able to get their thirds on the park, their junior sides, because after a year off last year, all the clubs looking to regroup in some manner. But the games get started where we're going to see Coleambally take on Charles Sturt University at Coleambally. The East Wagga Coringal Hawks take on the Rock Yarron Creek Magpies. That's at Gumley Oval. Mara Bombers at home to play the Northern Jets. Temora Kangaroos play the North Wagga Saints. And Barellan, the Two Blues, have the bye.
Well, from looking at local football with the Flowman, it's time to look at AFL. The season starts tonight. The season opener, it is here. But have off-field antics impacted the dynasty?
The season gets going proper tonight. Carlton take on Richmond. The season opener is here. And Richmond are seeking, a degree of immortality as they seek a fourth premiership in 5 years. And under Damien Hardwick, their terrific midfield with Dustin Martin, their elite forwards with Jack Riewoldt, they have become a powerhouse of a side. Their defensive unit, as we know, with Dylan Grimes, is the best in the business. But do off-field issues have an impact on the dynasties of these great clubs? One only has to go back to the circumstances surrounding Wayne Carey and Anthony Stevens and see the fall that North Melbourne had at that time when it was the powerhouse of AFL and where the club has generally been in more recent times. Then you consider the circumstances in the off-season at Richmond, and while they're never savoury situations when they involve personal relationships, one can only wonder about the impact on the playing group and also on Captain Cochin with the coach Hardwick. There is obviously differences in how people interpret and see relationship breakdowns, and I'm intrigued to see how this affects Richmond this year. Some will say that it's all off-field and the people get on with things and move forward. That hasn't been the case where we've had off-field dramas. You look at the Adelaide Crows in recent years from 2017, off-field dramas at their training camp, and then suddenly you're with a club that's at the bottom of the ladder. Richmond are a very solid club, and they've been a magnificent side for the last 4 seasons. This year they have a chance at immortality. We wait to see whether or not they can achieve that beginning tonight, where many suggest that there'll be a big crowd at 50,000. I think it's been capped at. That's a 50% capacity. The parochial Richmond crowd will come out. Carlton will have its supporters, though. It's one of the big following clubs in the AFL. After going 37 years without that premiership, Richmond supporters are lapping up this golden or yellow and black era of Tigers to claim another premiership this year. But it's a tough gig. 2 teams have claimed 3 straight premierships this century. The Brisbane Lions of 2001 to 2003 and Hawthorn of 2013 to 2015. But a 4th title in 5 years is something that has not been done since way back in the 50s when Melbourne were able to achieve that in 55 to 60 in a golden era. It's a golden era of football for Richmond, but is it one that begins to fall this year? I'm suspecting that that's going to be the case. I actually tipped that on Tuesday night on Sports Fix when I interviewed Carl Carrington, and he asked specifically that question of what I thought. And my view is that Richmond won't be able to do what Hawthorn couldn't do, and also what Brisbane couldn't do earlier this century. It is an enthralling encounter. We'll have more on other AFL games on our sports programming, but it is one to watch really closely tonight as Carlton take on Richmond, who are defending their flag.
And will their off-field antics impact the defence of their flag? I guess we'll find out as time goes on. But I think most of us will be, I think with your footy tipping, which is the other side of all this that we seem to forget about. It's so important. I mean, it occupies hours of work time, which is rightly or wrongly so, depending on where you work. But yes, we'll be going for, I think most will be going for Richmond tonight. Friends that I know that are Carlton supporters, they will be going for Carlton. But they're a bit funny like that as well. But who knows? It's going to be an interesting game, and its season starts here. It all starts tonight. We've been looking forward to it, and hopefully it'll be a continuous season and not a shortened one as well. We look forward to it. The Flowman, he'll have more to talk about with AFL right throughout the footy season and other aspects of it. You'll catch it here on the Sports Fix, but also on the Flow Sports Show, which will be covering some local football. Listen out for the Sports Show. It'll be back from 5 o'clock tomorrow. But coming up on the Sports Fix, we've still got the Stat Man. We'll be catching up with Bronwyn from the Australian Institute of Sport and Team New Zealand and a summer or winter league. Still to come for you on tonight's Sports Fix.